One of the best parts of Team Fortress 2 is just how different each class is from each other. I often circumvent my boredom of the game by simply playing a class I have less experience in and trying to get good at several aspects of it. Recently, I've been doing just that with the Spy. This trip has shown me two major differences as to how I play Spy compared to your average player. Now, this is not to say that I'm any better than your average player. In fact, I would argue the opposite, maybe on par or slightly worse than your average player. Nonetheless, I believe that players could benefit from learning these two tips about our favorite or least favorite Frenchman. The first, and much more obvious tip, is to use your gun. Seriously, shoot the enemy gamers, throw bullets downrange, bust out the big iron that rests upon your hip, however you want to say it. The default revolver is damned powerful at close range and can be good for finishing off weak opponents at a distance. In fact, Spy's unique ability to see an enemy's health at all times allows you to be able to pick engagements with your gun potentially at a distance. Not every kill you get needs to be a backstab, remember, and I've found myself utilizing the revolver much more now that I've got some practice in with it. Of course, the backstab is Spy's thing, but sometimes the enemy is outrunning you, or they turn around in an awkward time, or maybe they're just being protected by a sentry gun that's just out of your reach. These are all situations to whip out the revolver and throw some lead down range. Choosing the right revolver is an important aspect of using your gun, obviously. Now, I have a bias towards the stock revolver due to this stupid expensive one that I own, but that isn't to say that any of other Spy's guns won't get the job done. Even the L'Étranger, with a max damage of 48, puts down light classes in half a cylinder. If I'm feeling full of myself and nostalgic, I'll run the Ambassador to try and hit those sweet 102 damage headshots. Or I could just use the Diamondback and get the same damage for, absolutely free. But the point is, use the revolver. It's got 6 shots, and trust me, that's more than enough to kill anything that moves. My second, and more likely controversial tip, is to act more with your disguises. The first thing any mediocre spy man will tell you is that your disguises do not fool good players, and he's right. Him disguising as a scout every time on the off chance that a sniper misses their headshot isn't fooling anyone. However, good Team Fortress players are just as susceptible to a disguise as a newbie if you act the part well enough. Some of my favorite disguises are Demo, due to how unpopular of a frontline class he is to disguise as, Engineer, due to his higher likeliness to be near the back lines or his buildings, Medic, due to how often he is behind the team, Sniper for the same reason, and Spy if I'm closer to my own team than I am the enemy team. I'll disguise as the other classes, sure, but those are my go-tos simply because of how uncommon they are and how likely they are to be facing the enemy's back, and Spy so that I don't look strange as a pyro in the middle of my own team. I've been learning how to act the part as any of these classes quite well. When I talk about acting, I mean forcing yourself into the mind of the classes you're currently disguised as. Where would I be as an engineer right now? What weapon should I be holding out? Where should I be looking? If I answer these 3 questions, I'm more likely to fool the most seasoned of players. But hiding in plain sight isn't just for the people on the enemy team staring right at you. If you ask me, peripheral vision is how most spies get spotted. They think they're safe to go for the stab, but little did they know that that soldier up there saw them out of the corner of their eye and decided to strike. That spy was being reckless. Fortunately for you, the informed spy, you know that you need to act just a little bit to fool any player that isn't looking directly at you. So long as you aren't blatantly acting suspicious before you go for your stab, that soldier will never expect what's coming. Some of this stuff you can get away with is wild. Look here as this soldier looks at me several times as I'm fucking around trying to catch his teammate on the respawn. Then, still oblivious to the fact that I am not actually their spy, I go for the stab and die anyway because this hit reg is garbage. I even have some extra tips for this whole sell your disguise thing that might help you think more proactively about how you choose to utilize this underappreciated aspect of the spy. For starters, the more keen-eyed of you will have noticed that my disguises are generally on the right side of the keyboard. 6, 7, 8, and 9, for instance. For this reason, I recommend using the Concise Disguise option in the Advanced Options menu. This separates the menu into 3 categories: Attack, Defend, and Support, just by pressing 1, 2, or 3. Then, you're able to select which class in that category with the same numbers. For instance, to disguise as the Engineer, you would hit 2, then 3, or for Medic, 3, then 1. This makes it much easier to get to those classes that are usually pretty far away from your resting hand position. Additionally, I'd like to advise against disguising as the same class after getting a kill in most situations. There's a non-zero chance that you fooled someone with your disguise, but if you walk up as an engineer, stab a sniper, and disguise as an engineer and walk away, their teammate is going to see that dead sniper on the ground and that same engineer and think, oh yeah, that guy just walked by me. He's probably a spy, and I should kill him. And they'd be right. So changing up your disguise is always a good idea. Finally, and this goes without saying, but the stab, cloak, and disguise technique will help you secure your life tenfold. Just because I'm singing my praises to the Church of the Disguise Kit doesn't mean I've forgotten Spy's tool to literally become invisible. It's the easiest way to guarantee a clean kill and getaway in most situations. Let me stress this again. Spy's ability to cloak, no matter what watch he uses, will secure your life better than just using the Disguise Kit every single time. So that's it. These are the two major things going through my mind as I play the Spy. Use my gun more, and act my disguise better. Obviously, classic traits like choosing which target is more important, good positioning, dealing with engineers, and other skills I also like to think about, but there's 50 or more YouTube videos by spies, all better than me explaining that. This video was aiming at two of the major holes I find in Spy's gameplay and seeing if I could address them. Or, an excuse as to why I can't learn how to trick stab. Hello folks, it's been quite a while. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. For me, it's a little bit different than what I've done in the past, but I like to shake things up a little bit. Hopefully my microphone is a little bit louder this time. I was quite a bit disappointed with how the sound turned out on that last one, but we were all learning, right? I hope to do some more videos like this, analyzing more gameplay stuff rather than just looking at weapons. I'd also like to branch into this style of talking about strategy and game styles for different games. I've been playing a lot of Hunt Showdown for the past couple of years, and I'd hope to start talking a little bit more about that. Because I find that the commentary over gameplay is a little bit less there with regards to Hunt Showdown. I feel like people talk more, live commentary in the game, or clips or things like that, and I just feel like it's an untapped market, so to speak. That being said, call to action stuff. Do like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the kind of steady, small amount of views that I get every month. It makes me feel like my voice is heard, and everyone likes to hear that. Regardless, I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time.